Hello ladies, gents, and everyones. It is Thursday, May 6th. How is it May already? And we're here to talk about this week's space and astronomy news. First up is a really big piece of space debris. So last week we talked about how China launched the core module for their planned space station up into orbit. Now typically during a launch, the rocket booster will fall back down in a planned way into an uninhabited area. However, China actually sent the booster into orbit itself, which means that it's been orbiting the Earth for about a past week now, and it's slowly descending and is going to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere and basically land in a currently unknown location. And so yes, it could land in an inhabited area. However, that's unlikely just given the sheer amount of the surface of the Earth that's covered with water or uninhabited area, but it is possible. And certainly a bit of a concern as this stage happens to weigh over 20 tons. However, one, it's being tracked by the US Space Force, and so we will know eventually. We will have some warning about where it's going to land. And two, it is going to break up to a certain extent in the atmosphere. It's not going to completely burn away, but it's not just going to land in one big 20-ton chunk somewhere. So keep an eye out for news. It should land sometime in the next day or two. After what seems like a really long wait, SpaceX finally went ahead with their SN15 demonstration for the Starship. Now this high altitude mission was similar to the previous missions where it flew up to its high altitude, belly flopped, descended, and then attempted to land on the landing pad. However, this time something different happened. Or didn't happen. That is, there was no explosion, and the landing was nominal, which is engineering speak for the way it was supposed to be. This is really exciting news. SpaceX has finally landed their Starship the way they hoped to. It was really awesome to see. Yes, there is just a little bit of a fire here at the end. That's from the methane fuel, not totally unexpected and nothing to worry about. So congrats to this team on a really amazing feat of engineering. Really excited to see what Starship is going to do next. Blue Origin announced some really exciting news this week. So they are opening up a seat on their very first crewed New Shepard mission in July. This will be a suborbital mission with about a 10-minute flight plan that will include about 3 minutes of weightlessness for the passengers. This seat is going to be open via an auction. The bidding has started now, the sealed bidding, and we will see those bids revealed on May 19th, and it will culminate in a live auction on June 12th. The proceeds from this auction are going to go to Blue Origin's foundation, Club for the Future. After this auctioned seat in July, they're expecting to offer tickets to future flights later this year. The amounts for the tickets have not been revealed, but we're expecting it's going to be in the many hundreds of thousands of dollars. Gotta start saving up. This is really kind of the beginning of the era of space tourism, and it is pretty exciting. I'm curious to see how this is going to go for Blue Origin. Over on the government spaceflight side, the SLS, after finally completing its green run back in March, was shipped to Kennedy Space Center in Florida, and it has now arrived. So it was shipped over 900 miles on this special barge to accommodate this rocket, which is the largest rocket stage NASA has ever built. This means that all of the pieces for the Artemis 1 mission are now at the Space Center, and they are being assembled in preparation for the Artemis 1 mission, which is scheduled for this November. And speaking of NASA, after more than 3 months, they finally have an official administrator again. So former Florida Senator Bill Nelson was nominated for the position by President Biden back in March. He had his hearing confirmation with the Senate committee on April 21st, and he was confirmed by the Senate on April 29th, late last week, by a unanimous vote. Then this Monday, he was sworn into office by Vice President Harris. So for a typical astronomical body, the temperature will increase as you go further and further down. So for example, the core of the sun is about 15 million Kelvin, while its surface is closer to 6,000 Kelvin. There is, however, a very notable exception, and that is the sun's corona. This is the layer that's actually just above the atmosphere of the sun, and despite being farther out, it has a temperature of over 1 million Kelvin, over 20 times as hot as the sun's surface. The corona is this diffuse plasma that surrounds the sun, and its high temperature has puzzled astronomers for almost 100 years. One source that had been suggested for powering this temperature was very small flares on the surface of the sun that wouldn't be visible from Earth. And now a new analysis of observations from the ESA's solar orbiter taken last year have actually shown these types of small flares on the surface of the sun that they call campfires. They're pretty big campfires. indicating that this really could be the thing that's really driving this hot temperature of the corona. This could be a really big piece of the puzzle for this hot corona mystery, and we're looking forward to more data, not only from ESA's Solar Orbiter entering its full science mission, but also from NASA's Parker Space Solar Probe. And down on the smaller end, the nucleus of a lead atom is typically composed of 82 protons and about 120 to 126 neutrons. Now for stability, usually the formula that this takes is equal numbers of protons and neutrons in the center and then a thin layer of pure neutrons around the outside. And a new measurement of that thin layer of neutrons indicates that it could be twice as thick as scientists had previously thought. So what does this have to do with astronomy? Well, neutron stars can actually kind of in some ways be thought of as really, really giant nuclei. And this measurement could indicate that neutrons aren't quite as compressible as scientists thought they were. And this would mean that neutron stars are actually much bigger in size than we expected. So the current expectation is that a neutron star is about 10 kilometers in radius at 1.4 solar masses. This new measurement could indicate that it could be up to actually 14 kilometers in size. However, this is an early result and all of the implications of it aren't clear yet, but it's a really interesting idea and it's cool to see how we could learn more about these really crazy compact objects that are very important in astronomy. That's all for this week. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and I hope you will join us again next week. Have a good one. Bye.